How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to some more Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. In today's video, we are going to be finally finishing the game, and I know this has taken me way longer than it should have, but finally we're here, and you could teleport back to where you were. At least I think you can. It's been a hot minute since I played this. I do have, I was gonna say, I have a ton of notes on what I all did, but no, I only have, 2 things written down. We are going to be getting a few treasure maps, and you do want to kill the phantoms now, because they will give you some delightful items. And since we have all the items in the game, we can also create some different shortcuts throughout the temple, which is pretty neat. And I think we might have... No, I don't think we have the maximum amount of time we could have for the Temple of the Ocean King, but we do not really need more than 25. I think it goes up to 27. I'm pretty sure 25 is not the maximum, but we're pretty darn close, and this is plenty of time for everything. And like I said, we do have all the items now, so we can create shortcuts. Or if you really want to, you can just go the old-fashioned way, make your way through the same way you did the first time. But I would suggest not doing that, because it's going to be a bit of a hassle, and you probably don't want to go through this place any more times than you have to. So we're just going to do some things that are going to hopefully speed things up a little bit, and we can say good riddance to this place. But like I was saying, you do want to kill these suckers, because I think they all drop something useful. I'm not 100% certain. But now watching this, I am going to have to fix the audio, because it's behind for some reason, so I want to make sure I do that in post-recording. I do want to kill these guys. It's 2. Even get a nice little chest over here, which they do all contain some nice little treasures. I don't think there's anything permanently missable from all of them, so if you want to, you can just skip past the treasure chests and just go ahead with your run. Or you can get all the delightful little treasures we'll be obtaining, and then you can make some money when you sell them later on. But I'm not going to be going for all the treasure, or excuse me, not all the ship parts, just because that would take 400 years, but the main way of getting different parts is mostly going to be through the minigames throughout the game. Anything that'll get you a ship part, I believe, has a chance to give you pretty much, any ship part, I think. By that, I mean, I'm pretty sure, say there's one minigame that guarantees you a ship part if you beat it, and say there's another minigame that guarantees you a ship part if you beat it. I don't think there's any parts that are locked specifically to one minigame. So, I believe you can do them. Just pick your favorite for the most part, and then just go with that. But I think it is a lot of RNG with getting ship parts. That's another reason that I don't want to really do any of that. So I am sorry that if you're really looking forward to me playing through all the mini games again, I'm not going to do that. I may in the future, but not now, because that does not sound very exciting. But this is another little shortcut we can take, if I did it right. Okay, I guess it took me a second. There we go. But I'm not sure how the audio got behind. That's really strange. Very strange. Anyways, that is, I think, one of the shortcuts, that blue portal. And then we gotta go through this crap again. It does seem a crap ton less tedious now with the Phantom Sword. The only things that are really bothersome are those little... I don't think those are pea-hats. I forget what they're called, but there's some sort of tracky things. I could pull out my big ol' Spirit Tracks book, because I'm pretty sure they're called the same name in each game, but I don't want to do that for one reason, because I don't know where it is. Okay, I was going to say, I think these guys delivered another Phantom if they caught you, but I guess not, so you can just kill them, or not kill them, whatever floats your boat. But once again, more shortcuts from our delightful Bombchu friend. And I really like the Bombchu in this game. It's really cool. I didn't expect that I would when I was coming back to this game, but I really do like it. It is better than expected. And I recall Spirit Tracks has a lot of cool items too. I was gonna say some that never returned, but Skyward Sword was after this, or after Spirit Tracks, right? And then there's the whip in that game too, so I guess the whip did come back from Spirit Tracks. Which, I think the whip might be my favorite item in that game, because I like the whole aspect of just, like, flinging yourself around. Although, my favorite item in terms of traversal, I was going to say maybe aside from the Hylian Master Cycle, but, or is it just called, I think it's just the Master Cycle, whatever it's called. I think the double claw shots actually are my favorite item. I just really like how they work, and how you can be like Spider-Maning around all over the place. I hope they make a return someday, maybe in the next major title. But I don't think we have any promises that that's going to happen, unfortunately. But maybe someday, you know, maybe someday. Yeah, you guys probably won't be able to tell, because hopefully I'll fix it in the recording, but in the video editor. But for some reason the sound is like off by probably 2 or 3 seconds. It's very strange. Because I don't have this issue with Welcome Luxury, so I don't know what the deal is now. Alright, so, after successfully doing that, took me a little bit of time, but you know what? That's alright. That's probably the most difficult part of this temple. I believe this just creates a checkpoint now, so that you don't get that crappy time from earlier. Because that was like, what, 3 minutes or so? Just to get to the 6th floor? That is not bad. Now, I'm not a speedrunner. You could do it much faster. But that is still not bad. For me. And we're back in this lovely area once more, so gotta hopefully not survive. That didn't make any sense. Gotta hopefully survive. There we go. But it's basically just gonna be killing more phantoms and getting more treasure. But on the bright side, when we do the little gem collecting, we will no longer have to deal with any phantoms. So, we have that to look forward to. But unfortunately, that is still a little ways away yet. And I understand why the Temple of the Ocean King is not very liked. You have to backtrack a crap ton, and it is just tedious, it is horrendous in some aspects. But you know, you gotta do it. If we want to save Tetra, we have to do this. And one to go. Now, if you leave a phantom and kill the 2 others, I don't think those 2 will respawn again. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think they respawn. But just to be safe, it might not be a bad idea. I don't know how I landed that shot. That was pretty impressive. Yeah, just to be safe, I would go ahead and kill these suckers for 2 reasons. 1, after everything they put you through, they deserve death. And 2, you know, it's a good habit to keep with you for the rest of your life. If you ever encounter phantoms in another game, then you'll know just to kill them, or try to kill them, possibly scream like a little girl, whatever floats your boat. Shank this dude. It's so strange. The first part of the video, the audio isn't synced, but now all of a sudden it is. So maybe you guys won't... Maybe you guys will be aware of the audio desync if I can't figure this out. It might just be an issue with setting your laptop on the quiet settings so that things just aren't going properly. Oh, I guess that was a prank. A prank slot. But honestly, I really miss this game. That's why I decided I wanted to do this video today. And I should have done it a hot minute ago. I just have really missed playing the DS Zelda games. Specifically Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. A Link Between Worlds is amazing, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm going to do Spirit Tracks next. Although, I have done A Link Between Worlds once on the channel, but I am not at all happy with that playthrough. I mean, I think it was one of my first playthroughs I did, but at the same time, I don't even think I 100%ed it, and that's kind of what I wanted to do for a majority of the Zelda games on my channel, and I just never did it with that game, so I'm going to have to work something out at some point. Not today. We're not doing that game today, but at some point, I do want to go back to it and just get a decent playthrough going. It's not going to be anything perfect, but it'll be better than what's on the channel. Although, who knows? Maybe I'll do a poll. Maybe some people will want me to do Link Between Worlds first. Maybe some people will want me to do Spirit Tracks first. Or maybe some people would just want me to do Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Who knows? I do like that these... What are these called? These aren't Poes, are they? I don't think so. I forget what their names are, but I do like that they drop time. Not that you necessarily are going to need the time, but still, it is a very nice to have. And those phantoms do have some really hard of hearing issues, so just kind of be nice to them if they aren't noticing you at first. You gotta think, they've been down in this dank little dungeon for how many years now, and the dust is probably all over their ears and whatnot, so just be merciful with them. They're doing their best. Although I do think they are evil, so maybe never mind. Maybe just kill them all, just to be safe. So forget everything I just told you. Be murderous. But I really never got into the whole collecting aspect of the ship parts. It never seemed all that exciting to me. But I don't know. I don't usually do any extra bonus videos for any of my playthroughs. Although there's one little weird exception I might make in the future, and that is for Tree of Tranquility, because I haven't done the New Game Plus stuff yet, like with your child. Excuse me. With your child getting the Journey Rucksack. Most of you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's a thing in a Harvest Moon game. I'll just leave it at that. But I might do an extra video of that at some point. And now we can just go over here and place this little cube, I guess, diamond thing in there, and then we're gonna go get the other part right there. And we got them all. See, that wasn't so bad to get back here, but there's still more to come, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you like killing phantoms, because we do get to kill a few more. But you know, maybe that's not your cup of tea. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe you love killing phantoms. Maybe you are a phantom. I don't know. But either way, there's still more to come of this lovely place. But a question I do have, if you guys have watched thus far, do you prefer the Temple of the Ocean King or the Tower of Spirits? Because now, playing through this again as an adult, I'm coming to realize that it is truthfully not as horrendous as I originally thought. It is much better than I thought it would be. But I think the Tower of Spirits might be better. Just a tad bit better. Just because I like the whole gimmick of playing as Zelda. But it's a lot of fun. And it introduces a bunch of cool mechanics. And I'm going to keep this in. I'm not going to edit it out because what he's telling you to do is you put them in case you're a little bit slower like I was, you put them in the order that he tells you to. Don't be like me, don't try putting them in other slots. Because this was confusing me. I had to pull out the handy dandy Phantom Hourglass walkthrough video. Or not walkthrough video, walkthrough book. Because I actually have that still. Because when I was little, when I was 9 years old, I'm going to tell you a little story. I struggled with this game a whole heck of a lot. And right now, I was paging through the book, trying to figure out what the Sam Hill, this dude, was talking about. Don't worry, I'll figure it out eventually, because I do find the page at some point. But it's to take me a hot minute. So, on my story. When I was little, I struggled with this game a whole lot. To the point where it got to be just so infuriating for me that I actually got myself the action replay. I got it. I enabled, I think it was a moon jump cheat code. And what I did, I think it was after, I want to say it was after the third dungeon. It might not have been after the third dungeon. But it was right around there. And you know what happened? When I enabled moon jump, I missed out on a majority of the game. I think I might have soft locked some areas that I couldn't get out by normal means. And you know what? I have never touched that save again. I don't know what's all happened with it, but I do know that it is probably fine, since I haven't used the action replay in a hot minute. But just a word of caution, action replay is dangerous, and you should not use it. And it might not have even been action replay, but it was something dangerous, something you shouldn't be using, and that is all. That's all I have to say. And that ball up there, I cannot remember if I've been here before or not. But that ball up there, because I believe you can come here before you get all the items, but that ball up there is used if you want to kill a phantom. You just get behind it, let the ball roll, and then it bullies the phantom. And I could have sworn there was a level where one of those suckers actually brings in another phantom. But I can't remember. And I guess I have been here before, because that treasure chest is open. See? You can tell how long it's been since I last played. At least 100 years? Maybe less? Maybe more. And I think that is one of our last treasure maps we're actually going to be getting. Which is very depressing. No, I'm just kidding. It's not depressing at all, because the salvage arm mechanic is horrendous. I do not like it one bit. But you know, if you like it, more power to you, because I hate it. I think the salvage arm mechanic, it needs, if they ever remake this game, they need a better control scheme. Because the way of maneuverability with the touchscreen, it is just something special. So, I apologize if you can hear my stomach. I have not eaten lunch yet. I wanted to get this done before I ran today. Which, don't worry, I am going to eat before I run. I'm not going to run directly after, though, in case you're worried about that. But I do need food in me before I run. So, back to the game. I think we are getting slowly to the bottom of this temple of the Ocean King. Now you might be wondering, Connor, what awaits us at the bottom? Is it treasures? Is it something much greater than treasure? Well, it depends on how you look at things. If you think it's a treasure, you're more than welcome to think so. If you think it's something worse than treasure, and it's something that's going to kill us, or try to kill us, you'd be correct. Because it does want to kill us. Whatever's down there does indeed want to murder us. But that's okay, because we'll be fine. We're Link. Or at least playing as Link. For now. Until we're not playing as Link. Anyways. We just gotta step on the last switches in this area. And then a new path. Or not a new path, but a path will be unlocked. A path that will unlock riches beyond your wildest dreams. Or so I say. Who knows, I'm probably lying, but you never know. You never know. Alright, I'm done talking like that, because that is too strange for me. And at last we can avenge ourselves from being bullied by these phantoms, but we do gotta lure this sucker over here. I guess I could have slashed him right there, but for some reason I didn't. But we got him now. Now I think if you don't have the Phantom Sword, I think you can either use the Boomerang or the Grappling Hook. But I'm not certain. It's just a theory. Again, I apologize if you can hear my tummy crumbling. Food is almost near for me. Maybe those are called Reapers. I don't know. I don't know what they're called. Something evil, that's all I know. You know what? I'm just realizing something. I think I'm confusing a previous visit. Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm confusing this visit with the previous visit. Sounds about right. I don't know. Because we've already, of course, obtained all the sea charts. So why on earth wouldn't this stuff be done? You know, like I say, it's been a hot minute, but you know what? It is also not good for me to just wait so long in between videos. So from now on, I'm going to try and get things done right away, because otherwise I'm going to have no idea what I'm talking about half the time, which is sometimes already the case, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I do know what I'm talking about. But whether or not that happens, who knows? Also, that chest had a very generous timer. Alright, another treasure map. Maybe it contains something really useful? Probably not, but you never know. You never know. And I'm honestly surprised. It seems like a majority of the salvage arm spots in this game were just not very exciting. And I guess we could have used that as a shortcut, couldn't we? Oh well. But now we have a shortcut there. Bash it with the hammer. And we can get on going. Also, I think you can use the hammer to stun the phantoms, can't you? I don't remember. Also, I love the way the phantoms sprint towards the force gems. Just little goofy, padded suckers. So, if anyone was around back in the day when Phantom Hourglass servers were still up, what was it like playing multiplayer? Because I have vague recollections. I know I played a few times because I always hoped there would be some sort of way that you can unlock the tunics that he wears, like the red and the blue one. But I just remember sucking horribly at that multiplayer. Like, I would struggle non-stop. But to this day, I still wonder if anyone's ever made like a mod or something that'll let you play in those tunics. Because it'd be really cool. Change of clothing is not too common. And I was going to say, but then I remembered Spirit Track said, well, it's only one outfit, but still, I guess. Guess there's one change of outfits in Spirit Tracks, and that is the engineer costume. But in this game, there's no change of outfit, which is really upsetting. This customization, it's always good, which is why one of the reasons I really like Ocarina of Time, being able to play in the blue tunic, the red tunic, the green tunic, although a young Lonk cannot play in those fancy tunics. But here we have a couple rounds of Phantoms. I believe it's going to give us the 3 horrendous starting Phantoms, 3 red Phantoms, and then 3 gold? But either way, they are not very difficult. Especially because we have that little hiding spot there. And if you really want to, you could dig up that hole in the ground and just force your way up, I believe. And the Phantoms are pretty stupid for whatever the reason, but you know, that's a blessing, not a curse. Just let them be, and you can kill them. Which they might not be very fond of, but what do we care, you know? That is another thing I like better about Spirit Tracks, the Phantom diversity. Being able to play as the Phantoms is very cool, but the fact that there's so many types, like there's the fire type, there's the rolling type, normal type, there's the warping one, there's a whole lot of cool Phantoms in that game. But that is for another video. And here we have it, the final little section of the Temple of the Ocean King. Now, I believe if you come back down here, I think you might have to race from the start, but depending on your time, how good it is, you'll get a certain piece of treasure. And I think it's one of the more rare types. It's either rare treasure or a ship part. So, if that is something that interests you, go ahead and race through the temple. And we do have a portal if you decide to chicken out, which I hope you don't, but if you do, you can take the portal. And then we go up these super long stairs, which Link is looking directly in front of him, which is a little strange, but it's not unheard of. And now we have Bellum. Bellum, evil phantom. So, you don't need to worry when you get hit by this guy. It's not going to send you all the way back to the start of the temple or restart the battle or anything. So, you're good there. And I would recommend using the little Wisdom Fairy. I don't know if the Red Fairy will do double damage or not. You could just keep swapping out whenever it's time to attack, but I don't know if certain bosses are scaled like in a certain way or not. But this guy is not really too difficult at this point in the game. If you've gotten all the upgrades, just whack him around a few times and then he'll be good to go. He'll wish that he had never picked a fight with you. So now we got another little phase, and try not to get confused by this room. There are 2 ways upstairs. I don't think there's fall damage in this game, so if you fall, I'm pretty sure you're not going to perish. Although, you might end up in the water, which is not a good thing, but it's not the end of the world either. But now what we're trying to do is hit these suckers with our arrows. You just want to be on the opposite side of the room from the eye you want to shoot. Shoot those suckers down, and try and murder this weird fish thing, phantom. You know, I'm not too familiar with phantoms, like what they're supposed to look like. I think they're like some sort of ghost or something, in like folklore or something, some big word. But To me, this just does not seem like it's a phantom. It seems like it's a sea monster that for some reason has an eyeball in its mouth. Which, I'm not going to judge the Hylian species. They've probably created some weird bred creatures together. I don't know. Just kill it. That's the best thing I can tell you to do. Kill it. Because if you don't kill it, then it's going to let loose across the oceans of Hyrule, and you're going to be in trouble. So, kill it. Or at least try to. If you can't kill it, then at least you try. That's all that matters. One thing to note, don't quote me on this, but I don't think there's a time limit for this fight. So I'm pretty sure you can just take your time with your shots and then just try and murder the eyes. Just murder them the best you can. Because that's all that really matters in the long run, is just getting this thing killed. So kill it slowly, but kill it right. That's what I should have said. And then we have to continue upwards and keep on marking this thing because it is just an wood to be killed, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand why Bellum hid down here for so long, and he's not really putting up much of a fight either. He's only done a heart and a quarter damage to me the entire time, so I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if he's got some sort of Bellum agenda against me. Clearly, his beef is not that strong with me, so don't have too much to worry about, but we still need to kill it because it's probably poisoning the waters of Hyrule, and we don't really need that. Actually, is this even in Hyrule? I don't know. I was really thinking about it. I think it is Hyrule, but it's like so different than Linebeck. I don't know. I have no idea where we are. It's the bottom line. So now Celia has a new little power we can use, and that is to freeze time, which we cannot use it in other areas of the game, unfortunately. It's only for the boss fight. But it does allow her to freeze time, and gives us an opportunity to slash when we really need that opportunity. But we do have to continue a little bit further in this fight just to be able to use it. But it is unfortunate that you can't use it outside this boss fight, because it's a cool mechanic, but perhaps it would be too overpowered. Or maybe not overpowered enough. Depends on how you look at it. And after how many years those stairs finally decided to crumble. I don't know why it took them so long. Maybe it's just because Link is so heavy, but probably not, because he probably weighs like 20 pounds or something. It did take me a second to figure this out. Don't worry, it does get figured out eventually, though. There we go. Let me beat him up a little bit. And now what we gotta do is just try not to die. And she's already gone. Look at that. But honestly, I feel like the first phase of the boss fight was a little bit more exciting than this one. Because this one, all we're doing is stopping time, just to slash him around a little bit. Which is cool and it by itself, but I don't know. There's nothing else really happening. I just perished there. Luckily, I drew that Hourglass in time, which is probably as close to a cinematic sequence as you're going to see in this game from me. Alright, now we are in the cannon, and luckily we do not have to worry about driving. We just have to worry about not dying. All you want to do for this part is block those little blobs that he's shooting at you with your own shots, and then kill those ugly blobs on the ghost ship, because they are not good, and I guess they're fueling it. So, we don't want that. We want this ghost ship to die and lose its invisibility, or excuse me, well, yeah, I guess it's invisible sometimes, but it's invulnerability, because they're not good for us. So, make sure you're hitting your shots, getting those hearts. Now, it probably would have been better had I had more hearts, but, you know, we gotta work with what we got right now. And all I have is 5 hearts, so that is all that's gonna work. Another story I do want to tell. When I had that action replay thing, and I forget if it's actually called action replay, but there was a cheat code that you could use that could speed up your ship. And when you'd use it on this part, it was so funny because half the time you'd outspeed the ship and it would just get all wonky. It actually crashed a few times for me at this part, but I did manage to beat it without the action replay. I actually beat the final boss without the action replay, although I did have everything modded in at that point, or hacked in, so it's kind of cheating, I guess, but you know, for 9-year-old me, 8-year-old me, however old I was, it was impressive, so I'm proud of myself for at least beating it one way or another. Might not be the proper way to beat it, but I still beat it. And look at now. Here I am, or here I was at 25 years of age, finally beating the game properly. And now we have the choice to either board this horrendous ghost ship, or to return. You know what? We're saving, and we're climbing aboard. It's final boss time, and we have to kill Linebeck, because he has been possessed by Bellum, and we have to kill the host in order to kill Bellum. Maybe we don't, but you'll see. And we do get to use the Phantom Spheres again. It's freeze time, and you'll notice we don't know if the eyeball was open. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's always going to be closed before this cutscene, because otherwise that would kind of break the sequence. But Celia is going to help us out by flying behind him, and we're going to know the eyeball's open. And unfortunately, she got hit, but she can still tell us when the eye is open, somehow. Don't really know how, but she knows. Now's the time. We wait for the eyeball to open, and then, there you go. And again, feel free to try switching to the fairy that gives you power. I don't know if you deal more damage during this fight or not, because you could just swap out while he's stunned like that. Personally, I just felt like keeping defense on, because why not? Do have potions and whatnot, so not really too much to worry about. But what we do want to do is try and get him to do that little Clash of Swords thing again, because that's going to loosen Celia's grip and enable her to give us another Phantom Spear. So that's the main goal at the moment. I want to say that he also does a Tornado Spin. I could be wrong though, but I believe if he does that, he might be able to collide with yours. But I might just be misremembering from when I was little. And I think what you have to do is, you have to hit him normally a few times, and then when he does that attack, I think you jump slash at him, and that's what enables the little collision of blades. See? There we go. That's what you gotta do. Then he loosens his grip on Celia, and we just wait. Wait to live, wait to die, wait for an absolution. That would come. And just pray that you draw it correctly, because otherwise you're gonna have to repeat that little phase again. Which, I like this boss fight. It's a pretty cool final boss fight, getting to make use of both screens. It's really cool. But perhaps not cool enough. You know, maybe they could have had, like, a UFO flying around or something. Nah, probably not. Might have made it worse, but yeah, it is what it is. Thing I do worry about, though, if I did switch it on the fairy that gives you power, I would have made this boss fight a little too short. But for all I know, maybe it has no effect on this guy. Who knows? And to me, it felt like when I was playing this, it was a bit more responsive with drawing the Phantom Hourglass versus when we fought him earlier. I don't know why that is, though. It might have just been that I was drawing it better, or maybe the game just does something different for this fight. I don't know. But I'm going to end the little commentary here. So I want to say thank you guys all for watching, and I guess I'll see you in Spirit Tracks whenever that comes. But have a good rest of your day.